Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the weekend. We got a video for you. It's our top 10 favorite finds. These are not just our highest grossing sales or something like that. They're really just my personal favorite finds that we've either found and kept or found and sold. Some of them are favorites because they made us a lot of money. Some of them are favorites because I just thought they were really awesome. Let's take a look. Number 10. This one we found recently. It's the Prada cork wedge sandals. Found them in a thrift store locally in a small town for $4. They are in excellent condition. I'm not, maybe worn a couple times, and like buried underneath the shelves. So I was pretty pumped to get them, especially on a day that I wasn't really expecting to buy much. I think I went in for like 10 minutes just because I was passing through. And I walked out with some designer shoes, baby. Number 9, all the way from England. Burberry trench coat. Small town local buy. Walked in the store just passing through. Shocked to find the Burberry tag. Picked it up for 10 bucks. Verified it and sold that thing for a good profit. Number 8. For this piece, gorgeous. Got that embroidered back, satin bomber jacket. Now, this vintage starter piece, I made a big mistake on. I found it at a thrift store. I think I got it for $8. I put it up online for I think $100 even. Within I think a couple hours it had sold, and I realized my blunder was it could have sold for $60 more. The guy that bought it literally just bought it and flipped it. Number 7. Alright, this one you guys have seen just recently. This is one of our most recent finds. It's one of my favorites, not necessarily because of what it looks like, but because of how shocking it was when I found it and found out what it was worth. Gravedigger. This piece recently sold, I think for $115, $120. I got the XL size, should sell even better. Super pumped to find it, super surprised. I passed over it, almost made a big mistake. I checked it first and I copped it. Number 6. This one made the list because, as you can tell, I am a sports fan. I am a NBA fan, most of all. I grew up in probably, outside of Vince Carter, my first love, my first idol in basketball was the GOAT. The greatest of all time, Michael Jordan. So when I was digging through the thrift trenches down in Florida, finding this piece meant so much to me. This vintage Nike Jordan jersey, what a find. Let's give it up for the GOAT. Number 5. All right, here's one of my favorites just because this is like nostalgic to me. I grew up in the 90s. I grew up watching Mighty Ducks, Mighty Ducks 2, Mighty Ducks 3. Finding this guy was a thrill, and to get it for like $1 was even better. Quack, quack, quack. Number 4. All right, so if you are into high fashion, bam. Oliver Peoples sunglasses. Found this at a yard sale for $5. At first I was a little shocked because it was actually in a Fendi case. So I thought, ooh, Fendi sunglasses, super pumped. Then I opened it up, wasn't Fendi, but I'll take Oliver Peoples any day. Sold that thing a couple weeks later for like 80 bucks. 5 into 80, that's why it's high on the list. Number 3, to date, is our best multiplier for profit because I bought this thing for $1. Yes, $1 in a thrift store, little town thrift store, digging through what seemed like thousands of t-shirts. I didn't know what I had. I had piled up a bunch of stuff that I was interested in purchasing, was about to put it back on the hanger, put it back on the rack, and decided, you know what? I know that Guess does have some sort of following. It's $1, let's hold on to it, let's see what happens. Later, when I was about to list it for 20 bucks, I decided, you know what, let's do a little bit of research first. And I found out this is the A$AP Rocky Guess USA striped t-shirt. This thing is iconic. This thing is Yes. Could have gotten a lot more money, but we put it up for $90 and it sold within a few days. This one will live forever in my heart. Number 2. This one's number 2 because it signifies a coming of age for our eBay business. It signifies my violent birth into the eBay reselling world. And it represents my sheer stupidity. So the story goes, my wife's been doing this little eBay thing, thrift store thing for a little while, so she goes and I say, hey, can I tag along? And she's like, sure, go ahead. So we go into the thrift store and we're digging through, and I really don't know anything about what I'm doing. We're almost through the whole store at this point, and then we get to the blazers, and of course I didn't know that blazers typically aren't something we look for. And I find this, really ugly, frumpy looking blazer, and I thought to myself, I'm just going to make a joke. And I said, honey, look at this frumpy old thing. Who would ever buy this? And my wife, Katie, goes, well, what brand is it? And I go, Channel. Channel. I said, Channel. To that she replied, you ignorant buffoon. Even though I love you, you're dumb. And I had actually stumbled upon a vintage Chanel knit blazer that we ended up selling later for about $175. Yes, I was ignorant. And yes, I always look in the blazer section. This is the frumpy thing right here. You would call it Channel 2 and number 1. This is my number 1 most favorite thing I've ever found in a thrift store, flea market, yard sale, anything. And has a little story to go along with it. So I was thrifting on my own in a couple towns away from here. Very small town, I think only about maybe 1,000, 2,500 people. And they have one thrift store. But right next to the thrift store is this flea market. This ratty old place piled high with junk, a mess of stuff, and the guy kind of sits there and he makes up prices as he goes. I said, well, this is my kind of place. Work my way to the back, stepping over, pushing over, getting through to the back where there's a pile of clothes, and I just start digging through it. Start pulling up a bunch of fake Tommy Hilfiger. So I'm a little discouraged at this point, and as I'm digging, and I see this color blocking. And I've seen this color blocking before, and in that moment, dum dum, dum dum, dum dum, dum dum, I knew that I had found this. I freaked out when I found it. I could not believe that in this small little town, in this pile of junk, in this ratty flea market, that I found this thing. I got it for $10. I was so excited, I literally was calling everyone on FaceTime that I knew to try to just tell somebody that I had found such an amazing jacket. And I kept this one for a long time. I struggled whether I was going to sell it or not. It fit me okay, but the time came and I sold it to someone in Germany. So whoever you are in Germany, you're welcome. All right, guys, you know what to do. Like, comment, and subscribe. We try to get at least 3 videos out a week. Hope you're enjoying them. We'll catch you on the flip side.